For over 50 years I've been working in the science of crop production, and my passion has always been about increasing wildlife alongside profitable agriculture. In this series I'll be exploring practical ways that farmers can reduce their carbon footprint, make best use of pesticides and help bring wildlife back to their farms. One of the biggest killers of birds in the winter is starvation. This period is referred to as the hungry gap and runs roughly from December to the end of March. Berries and seeds tend to run out in late December, and wild bird food doesn't really start to become available until well into March. It's now mid-January and I've been walking this hedge on a local farm for about 45 minutes looking to see what food is available and I've seen no more than a handful of berries. And this situation was very much the same a month ago, so we're certainly a month well into the hungry gap. We've had a spell of very hard weather and now birds are desperate for food. Today it's about -4 and birds are burning up a lot of calories trying to keep warm. The thing that I think is perhaps a lifesaver is the spreading of seed on the ground out of a bag called supplementary feeding. This is far more reliable, far more predictable, and I want to go and have a much closer look at that. But before we leave this snowy scene of -4, let's have a closer look at the hedge and see if we can find any berries. The hedges on this farm are particularly well managed. They have a great interest in wildlife. It's not going to be all that easy today to find berries because of the hoarfrost, but let's see what we can see. As I say, I've been out for 45 minutes and haven't seen much yet. In October and November, the hedges, certainly the hawthorn, had plenty of berries, but the arrival of field fairs and the pressure of birds in the winter, most of the berries have now gone. Still looking, but as yet haven't found a single berry. What we will do is we'll cross over into the next field. This is one of the vagaries of planting these mixtures, and it's quite common to have rather disappointing results in difficult years, which puts, in my opinion, greater emphasis on this supplementary feeding that we'll now go and have a look at. Walking back to the car, we'll just have a look at another bird food area, and it's much the same. There really is nothing here. The birds have eaten what there was, and we've still got another 3 months to go. Let's go now and have a look at supplementary feeding, which I think is the real big winner. So before we start spreading the seed, let's have a closer look at what we're going to spread. It's a mixture of seeds of different sizes, so a greater variety of birds can basically have breakfast. Supplementary feeding is a fairly simple process. A 2-gallon bucket does about 100 yards, spread 1 metre wide, roughly twice a week. The idea is that within 36 hours the food is eaten, which cuts down the rats finding it and then becoming a nuisance. The idea is to spread it on the sunny side of a hedge. The hedge is important because it gives the birds the opportunity of escaping if a predator turns up. This, I really believe, is a life-saving opportunity because you have total control of when you feed and the amount you feed. So let's summarise what we've seen. We've established that there is a winter bird food hungry gap, which is when many birds starve. We've seen 3 types of bird feeding options. We started with nature's wild food, which provides insects, seeds and berries. Secondly, we looked at sown winter bird food, which is mixtures of seed-bearing plants. Sown mixtures can harbour insects, which is great for the insectivorous birds. The problem with both of these options is that they can run out before the end of the hungry gap and can in difficult years be a little unreliable. Lastly, we looked at supplementary feeding, which in my opinion is the lifesaver for winter birds. This approach gives you a guaranteed food supply. You have control over what seeds you use, how much you feed, and most critically, when you start and stop feeding.